Amid the COVID-19 recession and a strict movement control order, unemployment in Malaysia has hit a 27-year high. The Merdeka Centre says 5 to 8% more Malaysians will fall into poverty because of the pandemic. That is as many as 2.4 million people. Who are these new poor?
One of the best thing of living in Port Dickson is you have the beach at your backyard, because you don't get this in KL.
Kuala Lumpur-based Malek is a cameraman who works in commercials, feature films and documentaries. But with freelance jobs all dried up, his family has relocated to Port Dickson, where they survive by selling home-cooked food.
This year, 2020 to me is a year of humility and empathy. Seriously. All the while we've always been in the comfort zone. We forgot that little things in life that make us happy. You really do not need to go out. You spend more time with your family. If you're able to earn 5 ringgit a day, it's good enough really. You're happy. You don't need to earn 5 million a day to be happy. These basic things. So that is what I tend to realize. And because we've got 3 months at home to just sit and think and then reflect.
There are other city-dwelling Malaysians like him who have moved back to rural areas or their hometowns, where life is simpler and cheaper.
The only way for us to get job now is to reduce. We cannot be going around saying, "Oh, this is my rate, you pay me." No, let's say thank you very much. We have other ones. Yeah.
I think we can't go on living the way we do, in very materialist culture. At the end of the day, human lives matter, family matters, and that's the most important thing of all.
But the hardest hit by this pandemic recession are those in the bottom 40%, the B40. Fakhruddin Jazmi was left to raise his 6 children alone after his wife died of breast cancer in February 2019. Exactly 1 year later, he opened his own auto mechanic workshop, which he'd always dreamed of. But 1 month later, the MCO happened.
Kesannya memang sangat dalam lah. Maksudnya, kita baru nak meningkat, tiba-tiba PKP, memang daripada pendapatan tu ada, terus kosong. Jadi kita tak boleh nak survive. Memang saya akan risau jugalah untuk meneruskan hidup masa tu.
Assalamualaikum.
A friend alerted a welfare group to his situation and they began bringing his family food every day.
Pak Kadir ni adalah satu kes saya yang boleh dikatakan menyentuh perasaan lah. Sebab ketiadaan isterinya dalam waktu masa tu kita sambut raya kan. Dia selalu mengadu dengan saya bila dia kata anak dia terlampau rindukan arwah kan.
Help has also been forthcoming from the government, which introduced a wage subsidy and cash handouts to struggling households as part of 4 economic stimulus packages, totaling some US $75 billion. But can it do enough?
When the borders closed and the numbers dropped to zero and the reality sunk in.
In Sabah, one of Malaysia's poorest states, nearly 1 in 5 residents live below the poverty line, and many had relied on tourism. One of Sandakan's oldest hotels, NAK, closed after hosting its last guests in June, a day that its owners captured.
So, it's about 3 p.m. now. Our signboard has come down.
Bos kami, Mr. Anton, announce yang kami akan tutup. Memang semua staff shock lah. Sebab efek pandemik ni memang sukar, terutamanya untuk mencari kerja lain lah. So bila yang hotel sudah since 66 sudah membangun tiba-tiba tutup, macam satu kehilangan besar lah untuk Sandakan.
Our main concern was always our employees. Because when you work in the hospitality and F&B industry, a lot of them are B40 families. A lot of them are breadwinners. Let's figure them out first. What are we going to do? What are we going to offer to them? And then deal with the emotions later.
For me personally, it's sentimental because it's named after my grandfather.
As more businesses close, how many more Malaysians will be left jobless?
We're here tonight to help look for our street friends. There's about 474 packets of food.
Kechara Soup Kitchen is run by volunteers who feed the homeless in KL.
The situation before pandemic is very different. We are seeing a lot of poor people, yeah, no doubt about it. But after MCO, we are seeing more and more people becoming more struggled.
I think for the most part, the Malaysian government realizes the extent of the problem. And I think they are trying to be quite prudent in the way that they are trying to address it. The question now is whether or not all of these efforts is enough to counter factors that are beyond the control of the Malaysian government, which is the global economy and also the strength of the country's trading partners.